as well.
Are you going to edit this? Because I've waffled a little bit just there.
Go on, so start off the week before last.
So the week before last, when I was dropping Caleb off, I heard one of the teachers there saying to one of the others about how her back was really hurting. And I was like, oh, I could heal that. But then...
Did you say that?
No, in my mind I was thinking that. But then I was like, but I need to get Caleb home. Oh, no, I haven't got time. Oh, all those things come into your head. And so I went home. And then the next day I was cycling in and I was like, oh, if I see her again, maybe I could pray for her. But Pepper was like, being the carnal mind, was like, no, like, she'll think you're crazy. Because I've known her for a few years, because Alba went to that nursery as well. So, anyway, so I went in and she was on the door where you can go out. So it was like, I saw her and I was like, well, that's perfect. Isn't it? She's just standing there. So I got Caleb, and as we were going, I said to her, oh, did I hear the other day you had a bad back? And she was like, yeah, it's really bad. Like, I don't know what's wrong with it. And I said, oh, would you mind if me and Caleb show you something? She was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, we'll take your pain away. And she was like, yeah, go on then. So, because she was in quite a lot of pain.
Serious?
So, so we pointed at it, and then I can't remember what I chatted to her about. And then I asked her, I was like, oh, how does it feel now? And she was like, oh, it feels a bit different. She was like, okay, we'll go again.
Just pointed, not touching? Yeah,
just pointing at her back. And so then we did it 2 more times, and she was like, it's feeling a lot better. Like, brilliant. And I was like, great. And I said, she was like, how are you doing that? How have you done that? I said, well, do you want me to tell you now, or do you want to wait till Monday when you come back and you can tell me how your back is? And because I believe it's just going to really improve today, and then I'll tell you how I did it. Or I can tell you now. And she was like, no, let's wait till Monday.
Okay.
So I said, great.
Awesome.
I said, it's gonna, just keep getting better today. So I went home. Nice. Well, no, I went to the school, because actually Rory was teaching the school.
Nice.
And then I went in on Monday, and I didn't see her. She wasn't in the classroom, because she moves around different rooms. And then I went to the reception, and the 2 receptionists, I chat to them a lot, and they were like asking me, we've been at a wedding, so they're like, how's the wedding? Chatting about Caleb being page boy. And then one of them came over and I was showing them a video, and then she's like, oh, Anna, you know so-and-so's back? What did you do to it? I was like, why? And she was like, because she won't stop going on about how amazing it is, like how it just felt so much better. And I was like, oh, great. I said, is she here? And she was like, oh no, she had to go to a funeral today.
Oh no.
So I said, oh, okay. I said, well, I'll tell you how I did it tomorrow when she's in. And she was like, well, can you sort my back out? And I was yeah, what's wrong with it? She's like, I've got spondylitis or something. And I said, yeah, sure. Is it hurting now? She's like, yeah. So I was like, Caleb, come on. And Caleb's like, I want a snack. So I gave him a biscuit, and then he was willing to join me.
So you bribed your child. I love it. Love it.
Anyway, so then so we pointed it back, and then she was like, and then we chatted about the wedding or whatever. And she was like, what are you doing? I said, what's happening? She said, it feels all warm in my back. I said, oh, great. Well, it's
pointing
the
or laying
healing starting. I was pointing with her, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah. Wow.
And the other receptionist by now had come over, and so then I did it again, and then she was like, what have you done? The pain's gone. And the other receptionist then was like, well, can you sort my shoulder out? So I was like, yeah, what's wrong with your shoulder? She's like, I just always get this pain here and can't like lift it right up, my arm. So I was like, sure. So then with her, I put my hand just like there on it. And so then the other lady then's like, how have you done this? Are you a witch? And I was like, no, I'm not a witch.
Oh my gosh.
I said, look, let me sort her shoulder and then I'll tell you, but I'm not a witch, and it's not like New Age or Reiki or anything really like weird like that, don't worry. And meanwhile, there's another one of the admin people watching as well. So then I said, okay, check your shoulder. And she was like, I can lift it up. And then she like put it down. She was like, I can scratch my back. No, I couldn't scratch my back.
Wow.
So then they were like, what is going on? Then the admin lady, she comes over and says, can you sort my back out? I was like, yes.
So didn't they then say again, no, you are a witch?
Yeah, so then she kept on saying, you're a witch. How are you doing this? Anyway, so the other lady, I just pointed at her back.
Yeah.
And then, and the one with the shoulder was like, it felt all warm. Like, so they're talking about it, the two of them, how it felt all warm, da-da-da. The one who I'm then doing, she was like, I just felt this like shock go down my leg. And then she didn't feel any warmth, she just felt that, but she didn't have any pain at that point. She just said she often gets like a bad back. So I was like, great. And so then she kept on like hassling me like, how have you done it? You're a witch, da-da-da. So then I just felt like Holy Spirit was like, just tell them now. Yeah. So I was like, well, look, you'll probably think I'm crazy. You might not believe me, but the honest truth is I just believe that Jesus lives in me. Yeah. And, when Jesus was here, he healed people. Yeah. And it says when you give your life to him, you become one with him. Wow. And so then now I'm meant to be his hands and feet on the earth. I'm meant to do what Jesus did. So, and I was like, look, I've been a Christian all my life and I've only just started like believing that this is real. And they were all listening. One of them's a Muslim, two of them aren't. And then one of them was like, she was like thinking for a while, and then she's like, so, people say that like all those miracles were just for then that time, they're not for now, but that doesn't make sense, does it? No. And I was like, well, no, it doesn't make sense.
Come on now.
It was really cool.
That's awesome.
And then the other one, she's like, well, I'm Catholic, but if I don't believe, but then you believe, that's how I'm healed, isn't it? And I was like, yeah. So like, and then I was like, look, I can like show you, give you some scriptures that talk about Christ being in you when you give your life to him, and so it's all really listening. Anyways, that was really cool. And then the one who had done a shoulder, she's like, I get a lot of problems with my hands, maybe you could heal them. But by now Caleb's biscuit was finished and he was needing to go home. So she was like, take him home, but you can do my hands another day. I was like, yeah, sure. Anyways, then when I went in the next day, I went in and I saw the one from the Friday before, and she was hobbling again. And I was like, she's not healed. And Pepper started going in my head. Pepper's like my carnal mind, my flesh, telling me that I hadn't healed her, failed, la-di-da. Okay. What are they all going to think of me now? Yeah. Ooh. Maybe I am a witch.
Good.
No.
Wow.
But she was busy with a kid, so I couldn't really talk to her. And then the next day again, I think I didn't see her. So it was like 2 days where I was like, in my mind, I was like, Anyway, and then the next time I went in, the receptionist was like, Anna, you need to sort her back out again. It's really bad. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, but thinking, oh no. Anyway, so I saw her that day. She was on the door again. And so then I was like, I hear your back's really bad again. She was like, yeah, they say it's sciatica, it's a trapped nerve. She was like, but it was really good after you did it that Friday. Like, the pain all went. It was great all Saturday. And then it went again in the evening. And I said, okay, well, let's fix it again now. So she let me put her hand on her back. And she was like, it's so weird. Every time you do that, it just feels warm. And then her pain went down. And then the next day when I went in, she came over to me and she was like, I'm walking fine. I'm not running yet, but I'm walking. It's definitely getting better. I said, great. It's just going to keep improving. And then I said, do you want me to tell you now how I did it? So then I told her. So yeah, it was a really fun week at Kayla's nursery.
Wow. And that's in spite of people not believing, but you just believing and seeing God move.
Yeah, and I think it's the first time I just genuinely didn't really care what they thought about me. I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, because she really was in pain and I actually really wanted to see her not in pain. So yeah.
Wow, Anna. And what would you say you learnt the most from all of that?
Just not to listen to my flesh when it's telling me that it's not real or she wasn't healed or whatever. Just to keep persevering, like keep going.
And are you some sort of super Christian like super spiritual, anointed, you know.
Not at
like,
all.
No? You're just a believer.
Yeah.
Amen. That's awesome. Love it.
Can you press stop?
Shall I cut that bit out?
Yeah.
We should leave that in.
Leave that
Shall I leave that in?
outtake.
Yeah.